This is the chevron stitch, and we're going to start this stitch working from left to right, and we're going to work on 2 parallel lines. I've come up on the bottom line. This is my bottom going along here, and this will be the top. I'm going to take a stitch that is the full length of my bar on the bottom, and I'm going to come up halfway in between, and then I'm going to pull the thread up, and that will give me that look that the thread is coming out from the middle of the stitch. Now I'm going to go to the top line, and this time I want to come straight up from where this stitch ends, and I'm going to back it up, and this is going to be a half stitch, so it's going to be half the length of what this bar is. And then I put my thread above my working line, and I'm going to take another longer stitch right here, and I'm going to come up in that same hole, and since my working thread is above the line, then when I pull this, that thread will be coming out of the center of the bar. Okay, so now we go to the bottom line, and this time I'm going to go straight down here. I'm going to back up and go down and up, so that where I come up is straight down from where my last stitch is. And there's my little half stitch. Now I'll do the bar at the bottom, and this time my working thread is below the line, so I want it to be away from this center area where I'm going to be working. I go down and up in that same hole, and that creates the bottom bar. Okay, back up to the top. So I just judge of how long that stitch is going to be, put my thread above the working line, take a little stitch, go to the bottom, judge how long my stitch is going to be, take the stitch, put my working thread below the line, and take the full bar stitch. Come up in the same hole, and you continue just repeating that over and over until you've reached the end of your line of stitching. The chevron is a pretty fun stitch, and it's easy to get the spacing fairly good if you just kind of judge off of your last stitch. This first little stitch, you just want to get the thread out of the way, and then your next stitch is where it comes up in the same hole, and your working thread is outside of your working line. Oh, I did that one a little bit crooked, but that's okay. And you can see that I'm kind of making a little bit differences of stitch length. That's just to show you that you can go larger or smaller and still have a really nice looking stitch. See how this can go really quickly as you get the hang of it. I'm going to end down here at the bottom. Since I started at the bottom, I'll just do a couple more stitches so that you really get the hang of this. Whoops, caught it on my thread right there. And when I end, I'm going to do that first little stitch, same spacing as if I was going to continue, and then I would just go across and down to make that final bar stitch at the bottom. And that's the chevron stitch. Very cute and variegated colors. Here's another row of it up here. This is a variegated pearl cotton, and this one is a silken pearl down here. Really fun stitch to do, the chevron stitch. Stitch number 7 in Stitching Society.